30 miles an hour at this point. The car does seem to have more than one person inside of it. We did see at least a passenger in the front seat. You see them kind of moving a little bit slow, making these weird swerves out there, but officers from LAPD still making their way, getting a little bit closer to LAPD, working their way closer to the car right now. No, Susie, I'm sorry. We don't know what the original want was. You can see that LAPD cruiser really working his way up there. They have been cleared to pit this vehicle. So you can see the driver making those evasive moves out there. Whenever that LAPD cruiser gets a little bit closer, there we go, making another turn right there. I believe that we're turning on to Santa Fe, and you can see the vehicle basically trying to avoid being pitted, making these kind of moves out here back and forth. But these slow speeds, this would be the perfect setup. You can see that car making those moves, trying to do basically taunting that officer, that LAPD officer. He might not have to pit him. This guy might spin out on his own at these slow speeds. But Newton Division, LAPD, in pursuit. We're in the Vernon area right now, and probably going to be seeing this chase coming to an end here very shortly. Oop, oop, oop. They're unsuccessful. Unsuccessful. And you saw oh, yeah, definitely. They want to bring this to an end. I'm unclear on the whole thing, why the car is moving so slow. Right when we saw it, right before we saw it, we got the camera on it before we went live. The vehicle was moving. There we go. Oh, no! A lot of Bondo and a lot of plastic. That's what I just saw come off of that Honda. The LAPD cruiser just kind of staying behind it. Looks like we're into a parking area right here. LAPD right behind it there, dragging that plastic bumper. There's a helicopter overhead. LAPD really want to bring this thing to an end. Apparently, I'm hearing that it's a dead end or it's just a boxed-in area, so they're going to have to either make a very drastic move or it's just going to come into an end. Approaching Budlong is the last area that we heard. Maybe this has got an out. They're saying that there's no place for this to go, even if he's working his way out, trying to work his way, but it's going to bottleneck, but no place for him to go. Oh, there goes the front bumper. 2 gates, taking out 2 gates. Look at that. Joe, talking about just 2 gates. There is no way out, Jeff. But it's not going to keep this up for long. I can tell you that. That officer right there. There we go. Another pit. More bro. Well, there we go. That's going to be bringing it to an end. Oh, but crazy end right there. We're on Santa Fe in the city of Vernon. We know that there was somebody in the passenger seat. That car did stop. But we saw this person continually try to get away to the 2 gates. Haven't seen that ever. Why I'm saying that is this car might put it into reverse, might still try to get away. Not really sure what's going to happen here. These officers from LAPD, they are not playing. All those officers have their weapons drawn. They are looking at this vehicle. Very serious, tense situation right now. But hopefully the driver and the passenger are just going to be getting out of this. I'd really like to know what that original want was, seeing how dangerous this person has been and how determined he's been to get away. Officers from LAPD, though, there we go. Driver's side, passenger side opening up. You got a female getting out right there, hands up. But the driver's still in that car. Not sure if that car is running. Yes. That is the driver right there, Susie, and getting out of the vehicle, seems a little upset that he's going into custody. I'm shocked that he would be. What else? How else was that going to end? I have never seen a car go through a fence like that. It almost looked like a movie stunt. I would have thought for sure the fencing would have stopped that car, but obviously we know now it did not. The officers, though, they still have their weapons trained on the vehicle. The windows are not tinted, so my guess is perhaps they think or see a third person inside the car. The driver now out, the front passenger out as well. But these officers, we haven't seen any kind of relaxed mood as of yet. Possibly one person still inside that car. The two people, the male driver, female passenger from the front of the car, laying out there on the road. As we understand it, that's Santa Fe out here in the city of Vernon. But the officers still have their weapons pointed at the car, so I'm wondering if there's somebody in that back seat. Yeah. It's a very industrial building, I can tell you that. I'm going to kind of get a little bit wider here, trying to figure out which way they made that turn. They came off of this street here. Those fences should still be out in the roadway there. I'm on the wrong street right now, I'm being told. So, and it was this way. Apparently it was this way. Oh, it's right there. The cars are actually driving around it right there. So, hang on. So, there you go. Yeah, where was this 2 days ago, huh? Yeah. Where did it end? Or non-chase. Tracking. They did or didn't? Yeah. Nobody knows. Oh, all right. I'm just going to write gonna be late. Hey, you guys on Facebook, I'm glad you were watching. I never brag, and it's kind of like a duopoly and stuff, so you'll probably see it on some other stations, but I just got to say that we were the only ones here. Woo! So anyway, man, and the only reason I say that was because that was pretty nifty. Plowing through those gates right there. I don't know if they're going to kill me on the web right now, but you can see the workers out here moving the stuff around. And I will. And our assignment desk working diligently on the phones, gathering information that is tough to get because I couldn't figure it out. Stolen vehicle. That's what it was a stolen vehicle. These guys are out here with their forklifts, bringing their fence back onto their property and clearing the road. Yeah, that was loopy, man. I had not seen that before. And if you would have asked me, I would have said that car would have got stuck. But at any rate, pursuit's over. Thanks for watching, and love the love. Hope to chat with you guys soon. 67th Street. Just a little tidbit of information. 67, probably one of my luckiest numbers. Making a turn right there, eastbound on 67th Street, paralleling the 91 freeway. Let's see if what that street does for this guy. He's been riding those brakes pretty hard. I mean, he speeds up, he hits those brakes. Whoa! Little bit of a bump right there. Don't know if that's a lease vehicle, but I wouldn't want to be the guy buying it after him. That is for sure. That was a pretty hard bump right there. High speeds. Another tight turn. My desk is calling me. I'll be back with you guys in just a moment. Hey there, Simon Desk. What can I do for you? I know. You guys are like on some kind of super major delay. It's like long time ago, man, long time. But thank you for that. Yeah. We're live on the web. I reported it. I said I'm playing with you. I'm really worried about this. This guy's driving really, really fast, and I'm just afraid he's going to crash into somebody. And I'm having, obviously, there are no streets for us, and they're not calling anything out, so it's pretty difficult. Got my hands full, and just being hopeful that this guy doesn't crash. They're watching him right now. I'm pretty sure that's what's going on. They're just watching to see where this guy's going, and he's continuing to drive like a maniac. Yes, there is. Southbound, what do you think this is? Downey? Southbound Downey. Southbound Downey. Back with you guys on the web. Southbound Downey. An Audi. Audi on Downey. Southbound. High speeds. Hard turns. I would guess we're in Long Beach. No. We are Ramona Park. Ramona Park. I'm being serious by that. Ramona Park. Continuing on southbound, we're going to be in the Long Beach area. If you guys are listening on the web right now, there's going to be Long Beach area. We're probably on Downey. Solid red coming up, basically a lot going on this afternoon. A lot of people asking me questions. A lot of people want to know where we are, what's going on. Made another hard westbound turn. That's the first time we've seen him make a westbound turn in the Long Beach area. This is the first time I'm looking out the window, and there's a passenger in that car. So there's somebody in the passenger seat of this vehicle, which just makes me kind of think to myself, who is sitting in the passenger seat of this car? And as any kind of like, yeah, this is great, keep doing this. Wow. Another solid red right there, westbound. Looks like we're on a major road. I would guess maybe South Street. Higher speeds out here. And again, vehicle moving, high rate of speed. Only thing that's chasing him is the helicopter. And that would be the sheriff's helicopter. That's been watching the guy trying to make a turn. Whoa! There we we go. Made contact with that guy right there. First time we saw him make a collision, and that Audi just keeps on going. Look at that. Hit and run. Whoa, hit and run number 2 right there. Oh, so just passing Cherry on South Street. We're westbound. Continuing on, saw 2 collisions in the last couple of minutes. Nothing super major, but if it was my car, I'd be furious, that's for sure. These speeds continuing, and this is what really worries me, is there are people standing there, walking across the street right there, coming up to another major street right there, southbound on Orange, hard turn, and it's continuing on now southbound on Orange. We're definitely in the Long Beach area. Audi continues to elude the helicopter. Does that even make sense? I can't even say those words and go. It's like nails on a chalkboard. It's coming up on another solid red light right there, making another crazy hard turn. Parts of the Audi now starting to fall off. Making a westbound. It looks like a smaller road, but still a major. It's not like a residential. It was a westbound turn off of Orange. Continuing on right now. And, we could be coming up on Long Beach. I'm trying to stay wider and read the map at the same time. Hard on the brakes, making a little bit of a U-turn there. I guess he missed his turn. Maybe he is going somewhere. Again, I can't understand how he hasn't gotten to where he wants to be yet. Somebody in the roadway right there. Luckily, he did slow down for that person. And, again, making another hard turn on a street. We are in the city of Long Beach. We are in the city of Long Beach, yes. Another hard turn. Looks like he's coming to a stop. They're going to drop off the passenger there. There we go. The passenger's jumped out. Car's continuing on. Basically, it looked like a female got out and over there to that apartment complex. Now, let me get you a name of a street. I probably can pull this off. Atlantic. Well, what we know about this car is this guy drives like crazy. Now he's just jumping out, running across the street. We're going to kind of keep this wider shot right now, seeing where he is. There he is. He's underneath the helicopter, running the opposite direction behind the trees. And he's continuing on. Well, hopefully we'll get a shot of him right there. There he goes, continuing on, northbound on Atlantic. Northbound on Atlantic, continuing to run. The sheriff's car is getting a little bit closer. He's making his way into the shrubbery out here. I'd like to say over there by the red or the purple plant, but that's not going to help the officers. Continuing on back across the street, running across Atlantic right now. So that's the first time we got a cleaner shot of this guy. This guy earlier on, we've seen 2 hit and runs with that vehicle. Extremely high speeds, extremely dangerous situation. This was one of the ones where we're just watching. I was in awe. We were on the web for a while there, and I really, truly, I couldn't even speak at some points because it was like, I just was like, what is this guy running for? What is he doing? There he goes. Now he's got his hands up. Officers, deputies from the Sheriff's Department. Oh, no, they're not deputies. Those are Long Beach PD right there making contact with that suspect. This is the first time we've actually seen that person. Did drop off somebody. I don't know if we were live when that happened. Dropped somebody off. Appeared to be a female passenger. And that was also, I was just in shock. There's a passenger inside this car making all those crazy moves, driving that crazy. You'd think that that person would have said at some point, hey, I'm not down with this, slow it down. Right now, though, we've seen 2 collisions, and the suspect now going into custody. Like you said, started in the Carson area. I was going to say Carson-Compton, but in the Carson area, deputies were in pursuit. They gave it up because of the crazy driving. That driving did not slow down, and now coming to an end out here on Atlantic in the Long Beach area, Long Beach PD taking this guy into custody. Well, the recaps would be just incredibly high speeds, crazy maneuvers, wrong side of the road, many times, cutting several vehicles off. It seemed like every light he came to this afternoon was red. He was weaving, he was cutting people off, wrong side of the road, extremely high speeds. At one point, we did see a pedestrian running to get out of the way, with a dog, and then we saw him in neighborhoods, very small neighborhoods doing those same types of maneuvers. It was incredible that nobody was hurt. We did see him make contact collision with two vehicles, basically almost back to back. One of those cars, an SUV, basically hit it as that car doing what he was supposed to do, blinker on, making that right turn into a shopping center, and this guy just crashing into the side of that car. Then a few moments later, while trying to get away from that crash, he sideswipes another car waiting for their light. That's the wreck. That's what we've been talking about just moments ago. Sorry, I don't have a feed, but there's a side swipe. That was right after that first collision, so those were almost back to back. That suspect right there causing all this havoc on the roads today. Luckily, nobody is severely injured. The car has been left here on Atlantic. That passenger got out just off of a smaller street by Atlantic. Long Beach PD in the end here taking this person into custody. It just got to be clear. The Sheriff's Department helicopter was over this vehicle almost the entire time. So was there a pursuit? You know, that's a hard call, but we can tell you there were no reds and blues behind this car while he was driving like a maniac. So if he should have slowed down, he should have done it, but he didn't. And where he was going, gosh only knows, because in the end, he's in cuffs. A couple of people's cars are damaged, and so many civilians so close to injury this afternoon. That's the apartment building right there. That's the area where that person was dropped off. And then the car continued on Atlantic. In the end, the guy was taken into custody at 51st and Atlantic. If you guys weren't watching, basically what was happening there is he ran back the other way. The car farther down the way right there, he basically tried to park it. He did park it, dropped the vehicle right there, and then was running. He ran a good distance back northbound. Long Beach PD taking that guy into custody. We do see some Sheriff's Department deputies there as well. And then that person that they dropped off, well, you know, I don't know if there is a crime being committed if you're a passenger in that vehicle. I mean, I don't really know. They don't seem to be making an effort to find that person. But that's the area right there where that what we believe to be a female get out of the car and basically make their way into that apartment complex or in that alleyway right there. Right now, though, all coming to an end. 51st and Atlantic is where that suspect was taken into custody. My pilot, John, rolling his eyes at me a little bit earlier when I said that the helicopter was over it. They weren't in the beginning. That is a definite. And they were using us, actually, as a beacon to find where this chase was. So, at any rate, it is over. Thank goodness nobody seriously hurt. And now my desk is calling me. Go ahead, assignment desk. .51st and Atlantic. 51st and Atlantic is where it ended. That would be Long Beach. Yes, sir, Long Beach. I'll tell him in a second.
And there's a law enforcement officer right there. In fact, you know, I think that's a regular motorcycle. But regardless, at times, vehicle going in and out of all traffic lanes, weaving through traffic. And so we're just coming up here shortly onto the 126. So number 1, number 2 lane, swerving in and out of these traffic lanes. Traffic right now going about 55 miles per hour here.
And this is one of these Mercedes commercial vans. Is that correct?
I'm sorry, Carolyn, say that again.
I said it's a Mercedes van, a Sprinter, we understand. Have you been able to tell?
No, not yet, but you can see the large van there. Makes it a little difficult for them to be able to pull this vehicle over as far as making an attempt of doing a pit maneuver. might be a little difficult. I think that vehicle right there is going to outweigh your average CHP unit. I will tell you, however, they are setting up spike strips. That is what they're planning to do. They're hoping to get a spike strip deployed, and you can see he's coming up on an exit here. That's the he's just he almost just wrecked on that center median there, that off ramp. So that was, I believe, the Rose exit. We're trying to get the locator here. That was Telephone Road, just past Telephone Road on the 101 freeway in Ventura County. The 126 is coming up, so I'm not sure if he's going to take that exit here, but you can see how he comes up really close onto this big rig here, and I believe this is the 126, and only one way to go. That would be eastbound back into LA County, perhaps.
Interesting, and we can see here this big rig's pulling over here, really slowing down almost to a stop, it appears, and now he's going around alongside that.
Yeah, that big rig almost, it almost appeared perhaps that big rig was trying to slow him down, but the big rig heard the sirens. The guy did what he was supposed to do. He yielded to the right, and unfortunately, this guy was able to get around him. So, Carolyn, we're now on the 126, working our way back toward LA County, which is kind of a far reach. We're going to have to go through the elements of Thousand Oaks, Simi Valley, and all that area. But unfortunately, the 126, only a 2-lane highway, and right now, traffic is relatively light. So most likely we're going to see open speeds along this portion of the roadway. But if anything, this would be a perfect opportunity where units can deploy a spike strip up ahead of the road here. So hopefully that may be an option to bring this pursuit to a safe end.
Megan, are we still technically in Camarillo at this point?
Yeah, we are. Technically, we're going back towards the Camarillo area. We did pass Camarillo Airport. At times, speeds were about 90 miles per hour. I was monitoring this pursuit as News Chopper 4, the only one covering this pursuit right now, as we were headed toward this pursuit. We're exiting Victoria, so we're exiting Victoria off the 126. Let's see what happens as this vehicle takes the exit and see what he decides to do.
Yeah, is this the Saticoy area?
I'm not too sure the area, but I know we're by Buena High School. We're near Buena High School. We just exited Victoria. We're northbound Victoria off the 126, crossing over the 126 right there below. Buena High School is just to the east of us, so we're going to see what this person decides to do, continuing northbound on Victoria. So now we're on surface streets here. Now, the suspect vehicle did go on surface streets earlier in the Thousand Oaks area. He was on surface streets for about 5 minutes and then went back onto the freeway. So now we're in the, I want to say Camarillo area, somewhere in this area, Ventura County on Victoria, just right off the 126. Pilot telling me we have a lot of traffic coming up here, so let's see what happens as he approaches this intersection.
Yeah, this is always really a tough one when you see this amount of cars, and now he's in a bike lane approaching a red light, and he is stopping here at least.
Yeah, you can see he's making a right turn here off of this road here, listening to the CHP, trying to see, they just changed frequencies, so I need to find that. Eastbound Telegraph Road. So we're eastbound Telegraph Road from Victoria. If you're familiar with this area, if I pull out, you're going to see the high school. The high school is right in this area, so fortunately we don't see much activity there. That yellow helicopter, that's Ventura County Sheriff's. I believe that's the Ventura County Sheriff's. They are assisting, and you can see the vehicle now slowing down.
We're about to bring our viewers on NBC4 on, so we're going to pause for just a moment here, and then we'll be back on the web as well. We're following breaking news for you right now. It is a chase involving this Mercedes van. News Chopper 4, the only chopper overhead. Megan Reyes has been doing a great job following this for us. It's been a little dicey here now that we're on city streets. Megan, what's the latest here? He's really slowed to a stop, essentially.
Yeah, Caroline, we've been following this pursuit out of LA County through Camarillo. You can see that it's Telegraph Road. Vehicle just made a right turn off of Telegraph Road. We're just really close to high school in this area. Let me try to get us positioned here. We can let you know the exact location. But California Highway Patrol has been pursuing this vehicle. Ventura County CHP has been pursuing this white vehicle. Now, what we understand is this is an unreported stolen vehicle out of the Los Angeles County Sheriff's jurisdiction. This vehicle was traveling through the Topanga area. LAPD saw this vehicle. They attempted to pull the vehicle over, and the vehicle failed to yield, ensuing a pursuit. We're on surface streets area here in Ventura County, right off of Telegraph Road. You can see he's pulling into a parking lot right here. This may actually be a school here. This is possibly a school here. So we'll try to see what's happening here, but I believe this is, I'm trying to see what school this exactly is here. Balboa Middle School. This might be near Balboa Middle School. Vehicle going through the school parking lot, coming back out onto the main street right now. So this is Woodland Street. This is Woodland Street, and indeed that was Balboa Middle School. So dangerous situation here. Coming up on 2 o'clock, we may still have students in session, but right now you can see this pursuit here in the Ventura city limits. CHP doing what they can. In fact, there's a school bus right there showing evidence that children are perhaps getting out of school.
Yeah, and Megan, we watched some really dangerous driving on the 101 where this driver was in the shoulder, zipping past cars that were slowed on the freeway in the Camarillo area. His speeds obviously reduced significantly here, but still, we don't know what's going on with this driver.
No, this driver is failing to yield. That is Victoria Street right up there. So if any good news, the driver is complying. That is Woodland and Victoria. You can see the driver's just complying with the traffic laws, which is a good thing right now. Earlier we saw him blazing through a couple of signal lights, failing to yield, causing perhaps a very dangerous situation. But what's more dangerous, the fact that the driver drove through Balboa Middle School, and we're still near Buena High School, which is just on the other side of Victoria. So we're not sure if students are on spring break, but the fact that we saw a school bus just a second ago, evidence that perhaps they are getting ready to pick up children as it's 2 o'clock here. School probably gets out within the next hour or so. Let's zoom in here and see what the driver is doing. Driver seems to be nonchalant right now, just waiting, casual. Right now, from what it appears, only one person in that vehicle. Not too sure if we have multiple occupants. Can't see what's in the back. But again, an alleged stolen vehicle reported out of the LA County Sheriff's jurisdiction. LAPD attempted to pull it over. Units from the Topanga Division. The vehicle did not pull over, ensuing in a pursuit. Now we're in the city of Ventura here, approaching Victoria. And we're going to see what's going to happen as this light turns green.
And Megan, there is a CHP unit directly behind this van at this point. Is there not? Or very close? Yes, there. We do see law enforcement.
Yeah, he's going southbound. In fact, I believe they may have tried to deploy spike strips there, so we're not sure if it was successful, but we're going southbound Victoria back to the 126. And in fact, we're pulling into this high school. This is Buena High School, pulling into the high school here. Look at this unit right here. He's going to go up there and hopefully cut him off. So this might be coming to an end. Let's see what happens as he approaches that officer. Officers approaching the guy with their guns drawn right now, so hopefully this is coming to an end here. Buena High School here, right off of Victoria near Telegraph.
This is always a tense situation when we get to this point and the driver is not exiting the vehicle. Now we see him speeding up here.
Oh, my goodness, look at that. Oh. Yeah, guys, in fact, he just accelerated toward officers there. Very dangerous situation. In fact, this is the second time a pursuit we've covered within the past hour. We saw an assault on a police officer.
Good afternoon once again. I'm Glenn Walker along with Lou Parker in the KTLA 5 studios. We have yet another pursuit here in Southern California. This one, a stolen vehicle, and this one started in Oxnard.
It's a large vehicle. Not clear exactly what type of vehicle this is. Tim Lynn is up in Sky 5. What details do you have for us, Tim?
Oh, this guy just pulled over in the high school here, and he was on Victoria, just turning now back to the west here. This is a some type of Sprinter van, a Mercedes Sprinter van. It's a stolen vehicle, and the CHP has been in pursuit of this thing all the way out of the San Fernando Valley. Now we're in the middle of Ventura, just north of Oxnard. And we're continuing here now. What they're calling southbound right now. It's actually, we're heading west. But the Ventura County Sheriffs and CHP are on it right now, along with Ventura County Sheriffs. Looked like he was about ready to give up there, pulling into a school parking lot. But then he, once the officers got out of their cars and started approaching him, he took off again. But right now he's at the right shoulder here. You see his car just confused. He hears sirens, sees his big white van behind him, tries to pull over. The van just goes right in behind him. But right now we're heading west on Telegraph from Victoria in the city of Ventura. Going to be coming up on Ventura High School here in a few seconds for the folks familiar with this area. But this pursuit has been going on for well over 45 minutes. Went through the area of the West Valley, got into Thousand Oaks, went through a shopping mall out there, and then got on that 101, headed out through Camarillo, got off at Victoria, was been going through the Ventura County area, or Ventura City area. You see him just getting really close to these cars. Now he's making a turn. This is into the high school parking lot. The high school parking lot, Ventura High School. Actually, no, it's a college, is what Tim Deckett, my pilot or camera operator, is telling me. I was looking down at the field. It looked like a high school to me, but he's in the college parking lot now. Ventura College is what I've been told, and as he makes his turn to the parking lot, the Ventura County Sheriff are now sealing off the exits of the driveway on both ends to get the CHP directly behind him, pulling through here. And, you know, it's a stolen vehicle. We don't know what the suspect mindset is at this point. You know, why did he steal this car? Was there stuff inside this vehicle that he really wanted? You know, if it's a work truck with tools or some type of cargo van. It looks like the driver door is open. See the units just surrounding him as he starts the gump door. Looks like it might have went closed again as I work Sky 5 around. Now he's starting to work his way back east as we kind of circle over the top of this parking lot. Picking up speed, spike strips right there over the spike strips. A good spike. You saw that little black line just come out from behind him. They were quick enough to get that spike strip out. Now he's coming back out the Telegraph. Going to be coming back westbound Telegraph here away from Ventura College. As we come around, we'll follow him on. Hopefully it took out those two right side tires. That will definitely take care of this car as far as it going too much further. But he has been at high rate of speeds at times, and then, as you've been watching him, very, very slow in the right-hand shoulder. So, and I don't know why he's picking schools to go through. As I said, he was in a high school a little bit earlier in that parking lot, thought he was going to give up, and now he's fishtailing just a little bit. Oh, yeah, he's got the rear tires giving up on him a little bit. You can see it starting to wiggle there a little bit as he comes up to the next intersection. He's coming up on a red light and going through that intersection, no traffic, and you can see that tail of that car just wiggling, so you know that rear tire has gone flat on him. Those spike strips are designed to release the air very slowly. They're basically metal tubes that are very sharp, and they're like a straw basically that goes into the tire and then lets the air out slowly, so it just doesn't, you know, as you see in the movies, explode if it goes over it. But this one here just lets it out, and he'll slowly, surely start losing control of that rear of the van. And if they got that right front tire, that should be able to take that out as well and stop his ability to maneuver. But his speed is picked up pretty good here westbound on. Oh, you see the smoke there. He just lost that left front tire. So he's on the rim there. The tires will start heating up like that because they're being just drugged over the ground by the rims. And then you'll start seeing chunks of tires flying off here, and you'll see donuts. You know, that tire just come off and rip across the street. Oh, just barely missed that car as you continue westbound here on Telegraph, going through a very populated area, shopping area, another school up ahead, and at 207, hopefully you don't have a lot of kids out here, but he's on brakes now, slowing down, coming into traffic. And that was a very, very close to that car that crossed in front of him as he blew through that red light. But as he comes up, he's coming to a slowing down. But once he loses traction here and he slows down, those tires will give up on him, and then the rims are very, very useless on the asphalt. He'll start spinning. Doors open here. You see CHP officers here. He's coming to a stop. Guy's out on foot. We're going to keep a close eye. He's starting to walk away. This is heading up into a boom, pushed him down. CHP officer, actually this is Ventura police officer in foot pursuit. Looked like he just tried to knock him down, but right now he's running. He's tackled. Oh, he's going to just take him down, drop him to the ground. Here comes his fellow officers, going to take him into custody right now here, right by another school here, and I'll get the name of this one here, but it looks like maybe the officers now have him under the tree here. And you see them just taking him into custody, holding his legs, getting the handcuffs on him, and then the officer here calling code 4. They're going to go back and check on the van as well. But pursuit that just very strangely racing along the freeways, getting into Ventura here, and then finally Ventura Police Department along with the county sheriffs and CHP able to spike strip that van and run the tires off it, which is exactly what we want to see. So right now, from what we saw, nobody really injured in this pursuit as far as citizens, but the suspect is in custody and will be heading off to the jail for the rest of the afternoon. So
All right, Tim Lynn, thank you so much. Again, this pursuit starting in the San Fernando Valley area, going through that area, ending up in Oxnard. That spike strip just made things worse for him, and he couldn't control this alleged stolen vehicle. Second pursuit today, busy day.
This one much slower.
Yeah, exactly. We're going to take a quick break for about 45 minutes, and we'll be back at 3 o'clock for our 3 o'clock newscast and our special Dodgers show.
Live from San Diego, this is the Fox 5 News at 5.
We have some more breaking news. A very intense police chase on the 5 northbound right now, where police are chasing this red sedan, Andrew, that has been cruising. He is all over the road, weaving back and forth. He's now in the far left carpool lane. I think he just is approaching the split.
Just now hitting traffic, too. This guy's been going incredibly fast and going around every car, and right now is on the shoulder as traffic around him is slowed down. He hasn't hit anything yet, but that's a miracle. And if he hits something
came
soon,
real close.
Yeah, it would be no surprise if he hits something here any moment. How out of control this person is driving. If you have someone out there who might be on the 5 North, let them know what's going on, because this is an extremely dangerous situation with this car driving significantly faster than traffic and now on the shoulder and putting a lot of lives at danger, frankly.
Yeah, and he really was weaving back and forth. I thought there, as you see, he's leaving the carpool lane, probably trying to ditch police. Not sure if he knows that he's got a police helicopter above him tracking all of his moves, but now he is getting off of the freeway there.
Looks like onto the 56.
Yeah, potentially that's what I was thinking, off of the 56 there, the bypass. Police were told to back off, as they often are when there is a police chase like this where the person is driving really fast. Sometimes police are told to back off so that the driver will slow down, so he doesn't feel like he's being chased. But clearly, as you said, yeah, that is not the case. This guy is all over the place.
No, in fact, on the freeway, he was passing a car a moment while we were in that break and nearly hit one of those barriers head on. And you can see how fast this guy's going. I mean, we can't tell, by number, but it is
blowing through
much faster than
stoplights,
you ever imagine. Look at it going across the center divide. He just hit something.
He must have hit a mirror, maybe someone's mirror
like
there.
That, yes, but putting a lot of people in danger the way that he is going in and out of traffic and around cars. Now on surface streets, right? So he's not on a freeway. Wow. He's more on a highway, side street kind of situation where there's businesses and maybe even homes around that area, and with not a lot of regard for the people around him.
Yeah, if you have kids watching this, you may want to remove them from the room. We never know. These are live pictures, so we don't know what's going to happen. If police ask us to back off as our chopper as well, we will certainly do that. I haven't seen, Andrew, interestingly enough, any police cars behind him. So this guy definitely is just trying to get away as he weaves through. I'm trying to get a little bit better idea of where he's going. I thought he got off of the 56 into the Carmel Valley area, but now it looks like he's potentially driving on just some...
Yeah, I think he got off that and came onto some side streets here and kind of just lost it. Did he stop?
I don't know. There's Sky Fox above
kind of
the scene
blocked
trying
by
to find him.
that ridge right there. He
right,
may have just,
unless he's going off maybe to the right.
They're trying to find him now. I mean, he was going so fast, then all of a sudden
unless
we
he
lost. Yeah, he's not there.
Oh yeah, look at that. Sky Fox also lost him.
Yeah, he came around that ridge on the left side of the screen. There's that ridge, so we kind of lost picture of him for a second. They're going to find him here momentarily.
Our producers are also trying to get some information as far as the street road that he's on. Look, Sky Fox definitely confused, trying to figure out where did this guy just disappear to. That car, it was a red sedan. It was speeding at very high speeds. There he is.
It's so rare for a helicopter to lose him and perhaps lose perspective, considering the angle that they have. But that guy just happened to be in a certain spot where he was able to get away for 10, 15 seconds.
Yeah, he is like disregarding all traffic. My gosh, you think of that biker there as he's going through the intersections, not stopping. He slowed down a little bit, thankfully.
That was the first time we've seen him take any regard for anybody else there.
We've been watching this police chase, was started less than 10 minutes ago out off of Gilman Drive in La Jolla. The guy hopped on the 5 northbound. There we're getting a clear picture inside.
You can read the driver's license plate there, too.
I can't read it. It's going too fast. But, man, look at him going through. And anyone who drives in the La Jolla Carmel Valley area at this time knows how difficult traffic is there. He's going into one of the neighborhoods. It looks like he's pulling into a house.
Is it a house or an apartment complex?
This is in Camino del Mar.
Okay, he's pulled into a parking space here. Let's see if he gets out and makes a run for it. And that's exactly what it looks like he's going to do.
Look, it's like, is there somebody else in the car, perhaps? Or he threw maybe something else in?
Let's see.
I'm surprised we're not seeing any police officers behind him, but you got to believe they're close on his tail, as the chopper person there is going to be giving police some direction.
He may have just dropped something out and got back in the car.
What in the world?
So hard to tell from this angle and this height. But back in the car.
He definitely moved something, but there he goes back in the car off of Camino del Mar. Trying to talk with our producer now. Is this in the Carmel Valley area, Ryan? We're still in the Carmel Valley area off the 5. We saw him get off of the bypass. Now he's driving on the sidewalk.
Oh, wow. And there's a guy right there. It shows you just how dangerous this is.
Man. You know, and no fault to the other drivers. You're kind of like in your zone when you're driving home. You don't really realize what's going on unless someone is calling or texting you and they're watching it on the news saying, hey, man, look out for this kind of crazy driver here in this red car. I didn't see anybody else in the vehicle, but that doesn't mean that there isn't somebody. We just didn't see him when he stopped there. He definitely got out of the car, adjusted something. It looked like he threw something in his passenger side and then got back in the car and kept going.
Yeah, so he was just in the bike lane a moment ago, and while he's taken a little bit of regard for intersections, he's not taken any regard for you know, walking intersections where people might be coming across the street, or obviously the bike lane that he got in a second ago. Now he's at a dead stop and kind of has nowhere to go because he can't really go over that median, and he can't get around any of these cars. This is the first time we've kind of seen him stop and really get stuck, kind of boxed in, but that is the case. And again, like you said, Jen, these cars around him have no real idea of what's going on. They don't realize Skyfox and police choppers are above head following this particular red car, but that's exactly what's happening because this guy has been driving so erratically and so wildly for the last couple of minutes that we've been seeing some pretty incredible stuff as he now moves into the Del Mar area. Again, if you have anybody out on the road right now that could be in the Del Mar area or even on the 5 that could potentially be in the path of this guy, give him a heads up. Let him know what's going on. We're doing our best to get the information.
Look at him weaving in and out. Oh, my goodness. Is this
really
Jimmy
dangerous.
Durante? This looks like Jimmy Durante Boulevard going right through. If I'm right where he is, I think the racetrack is going to be up here on the left where he just went through sort of the downtown Del Mar area. But he has been all over the road, so I could definitely be wrong in my directional.
If that is, in fact, the case, he could be headed right back to the 5.
Right. It looks like his arm or something is out of the window. He's got his window rolled down, or he's holding up his arm. In many cases like this,
could just be blocking the sun. That's where the sun is right this part of the day.
It's so interesting. We see so many police chases out of the LA area, not very many in the San Diego area. In a case like this, we did hear that police were told to back off as he was on the 5. And probably for good reason, honestly, because the way this guy was driving, he was so erratic and going so fast.
So if this is where we think that he is, this road kind of is swinging around where Del Mar racetrack is. Hard to tell. It's really hard to tell because we're so focused in. But maybe if Skyfox does pull out here, we'll see the racetrack on the left side, and that's exactly where they are.
It is.
So the 5 is right in front of him. He's going to come up to the road here, Via de la Valle, and perhaps take a right and get back on the 5.
Yep.
Or would go left and get closer to the water.
Right, so that's Jimmy Durante Boulevard that he's on. He's going to come up on that Hilton Hotel there on the right and the gas station. And Andrew, I think you're right on. If he wants to try to lose the police tail, he is probably going to get back on the freeway. Though you drive this every day, and the 5 northbound is normally pretty crowded.
Well, sure. It's 5:37 in the afternoon. He is going toward the 5 right now. So taking that right and getting onto Via de la Valle, and
if he stays in that lane, he'll get on the 5
yards
southbound.
ahead. Just a couple hundred yards ahead is the 5. So he stays in the right lane. He's going south. If he keeps going a little farther, he's going to get to the opportunity to go north, and he is going south, it looks like. So he is getting back on the 5 going south, and perhaps, you know, a move to avoid some traffic, like you said, this time of the day at 5:37. And clearly that is the case looking at the 5, a lot more open for this driver to head back south. This is a chase, by the way, if you're just joining us. It started in the La Jolla area, and this is what we saw as it started. This guy driving extremely fast, extremely erratically, and with little regard for the cars around him. and in this case, again, is going much faster than traffic anyway, but not quite as fast perhaps as we saw shortly ago.
There's Skyfox pulling out, giving you a better perspective. Interesting, this guy probably thinks that he's not going to hit very much traffic going southbound, but he's got another thing coming as he approaches the split, because traffic almost comes to a dead stop. It clears through Del Mar, and then once you hit that 805-5 split, it definitely slows down. So I'll be curious to see what he does as he tries to maneuver and outpace the police. He's approaching at this point the 56, and it looks like Del Mar Heights Road. He got on the 5 southbound at Via de la Valle as he had passed the fairgrounds, kind of wove through downtown Del Mar. As Andrew had first mentioned, he got on the 5 northbound at Gilman Drive there in La Jolla.
So we had seen this guy make a stop. He pulled into a parking spot. It almost seemed like a pretty specific parking spot. And either pull something out of the car or move something within the car. And from our perspective, it almost looks like he keeps reaching over to the passenger side, but we haven't seen any evidence that there's another person inside. That was a strange move.
I don't know if I've ever seen that. He pulled into the parking lot, got out quickly, and then adjusted something, and then got right back in and pulled out, and came within inches, by the way, of slamming into a car that was parked behind him, didn't, and then got back on the freeway there as he's passing Carmel Mountain Road and the bypass there of the 56 as he's headed on the 5 southbound. In the next mile and a half or so, he's going to approach the 56. I'm sorry, he's approaching the 56. He's going to approach the 805-5 split, where traffic often gets very congested. Almost looks like, Andrew, he's doing a big loop, because this is sort of where he started. I'm not seeing him weave in between lanes as much as he was in the beginning of this chase, but I mean, there, look at him. He was in the far right lane, and now he's swinging all the way over to the left, and eventually we'll probably just try to pick up the carpool lane or something to allow him to keep moving. I'll be very curious to figure out why he's running in the first place. If police tried to pull him over, as often happens, either for a routine traffic stop, or let's just say his tail light was out, or if he's got an outstanding warrant.
Yeah,
or I mean, he's obviously running for something.
Right, this isn't a tail light situation. Obviously, there's something that may have tipped him off in the first place, but now he's getting off at Carmel Mountain Road. Okay, and by the way, as Skyfox points out right there, I was just going to say, there isn't a ton of traffic when it comes to the 5 there. So they did get off at Carmel Mountain Road, and Skyfox seems to have lost them there. Is that?
Nope, that
doesn't look like the right car. He's just looking for a red car right now. He got off at Carmel Mountain Road. I don't know if he got right back onto the freeway.
I think he's right there, yeah.
Now they're just looking for a red car. That looks like it might be it. That was a very similar look to the car. Looks like either a Hyundai or a Lexus.
Sonata or something, yeah.
It's hard to tell from the logo from this height, but if that is in fact the car, there he is back on the 5 South, and seems to have a kind of a clear go looking at traffic. I don't see a ton of traffic.
I am so surprised. I always feel like it's really crowded at this time.
Well, I'll say if you get to the split and you get to the 5, where the 805 and the 5 split, that might be a spot where, and he's getting on the 805. It looks like right there, staying left onto the 805, where there probably is less traffic right about now.
Wow, this is really interesting. We're trying to talk to the police department and figure out why they are chasing this guy. It's interesting to note, whenever there's a chase on the freeway, it's the CHP who is taking the lead command of the investigation at this point. Could have been San Diego police, for example, who initially tried to pull him over, or for whatever reason, first initially made the call, and then as soon as it gets onto a freeway, the CHP takes over, and of course they are working with the other agencies, San Diego Police, perhaps even the Sheriff's Department.
I was just going to say real quick, there is traffic coming up, and it seems to be getting to it right now.
Now he's on the southbound 805 approaching Carroll Canyon, which is the Sereno Valley area, which is really where it starts to back up. You have all that Qualcomm traffic that's headed home.
All the way to the 52, which is probably for the next couple of miles there. He's going to have some decent traffic. He is in the HOV far left lane. I believe there's another kind of open lane here, right there where he's passing, that he could have split off, but he didn't. So he stays there in the left lane and is passing by traffic well enough right now. You might ask, where is he going to go? Well, if you're just joining us, he's going to go under the shoulder or wherever he has to go, because that's kind of the
modus operandi at this point.
Exactly what I was going to say. That's kind of been his MO to this point in this chase. Right now, he's not driving the way he was at the beginning, which was just about anywhere he wanted to. Right now, he's kind of following traffic, maybe hoping to blend in.
We see him trying to maneuver a little bit. Not anything all that erratic, though he's cutting their 3 lanes and trying to get into the far slow lane there and try to pick up some speed and get away. Where he's going.
Maybe thinking about the 52 here, and I think traffic breaks up actually shortly after they cross the 52, but that might be a spot, either the 52 or one of the other exits right there off of the 805.
I think he's still got a little bit of time.
May have a little bit to go, you're right.
Before he gets to the 52. I mean, this area near the Sorrento Valley, Qualcomm area is just a mess at this time. They're doing all that construction, right?
It's Miramar Road, right? Miramar Road and La Jolla Village Drive.
Okay. So there he's getting off of that.
He's staying right back on.
Nope, there he goes.
He's just getting around traffic. And this is more reminiscent of what we saw shortly ago, which is that he's going to go on the shoulder and just go for it. So it may have either been tipped off that, yes, police are still chasing him, or took care of whatever he needed to take care of inside the car as far as the evidence goes, and decided we're going to make a run for it once again.
Which, if that's the case, I mean, what is he going to do? We haven't seen anything get thrown out the window.
Right. Other than that one stop in the Del Mar area to either move evidence, pull it out of the car, or something. Now he's getting to a bit of a squeeze here where that shoulder lane is disappearing and he's cutting right in the middle of traffic. Once again, if you have somebody on the road there heading south on the 805, you might want to give them a heads up out there that there's a really erratic driver in this red Honda who is putting a lot of people at risk, and he's showing exactly how dangerous he is once again.
This is some of the area that's under construction, so he's got to be careful too that doesn't hit some crazy big pothole or something.
Sure.
If you're just joining us here, by the way, at 10 to 6, we've been following for the last 20 minutes or so this very erratic driver in this red Honda that has been taking police on quite the chase. Started in La Jolla at the 5 northbound, and he was cruising, weaving in and out of traffic. At one point, almost crashing into drivers. He then got off the road somewhere in Carmel Valley, randomly pulled into what looked like he knew where he was going, a parking lot, got out of the car, messed with something in his passenger side, got back in, pulled off, took police around another neighborhood, and then got back on the 5 southbound at Villa de la Valle. And now we're picking him up off the 805 south, just passing the Miramar La Jolla exit, and he is driving very erratically. Police, it should be noted, have been told to back off because of the dangerous situation. Sort of hold your breath in these situations, because there's the police helicopter going right in front of Skyfox there. They obviously tracking him with their eyes in the sky as he continues to pick up speed now on the southbound 805. You really do hold your breath in these situations, because you feel like there's thousands of these other drivers that are innocently going home from work. They have their kids in their car. They're going back, and you got this crazy guy weaving in and out of traffic, going from the far right lane to the far left lane, pretending that he's getting off the freeway, then getting back on. And the likelihood is he's going to at some point crash, whether he crashes on his own or crashes into somebody else. This is not going to end well.
No, and this is the Claremont Mesa Boulevard exit where he just passed by once again. Almost looked like he was getting off and decided to come back on, and he's back all the way across into the left lane. Like you said, I mean, that's really interesting, Jen, because we see these kinds of drivers on the road all the time. And you look at him and you say, all right, you know, one knucklehead out there just driving crazy. These folks don't realize just how wild this particular driver is.
Right.
I mean, he is really, really a danger to a lot of people, and is not afraid to put them in danger because he cares about one person, that's himself, as he runs from authorities. Back onto the shoulder there. I mean, you never know what you're going to hit on the shoulder. What, you're going to spray up to somebody else, or the fact that you're going to fly into somebody else.
It almost looks like he might have blown a tire.
Yeah, certainly looks like that.
We didn't see any spike strips set down, so it could have just been from his speed or for something like you said. I'm sure he hit something as he was going back and forth and back and forth. If that's the case, he's not going to be able to drive very long, because that tire's going to shred, and he's going to be driving on the axle of his car.
Coming up to the 163 area as they hit traffic once again. So yeah, let's keep an eye on that back. Looks like back left tire maybe, unless it was the front left, but it's on the left side.
There you see the 163 and the 805. He just passed, by the way, the Fox 5 studios here in Kearney Mesa. Skyfox gives us a bigger picture of some of the traffic. I drive this route every day. I know normally at 6:15 or 6:30 he is still going to hit traffic on the 805 southbound. It looks like now he's approaching, still on the 805 in the far right lane in that red car, now on the shoulder, getting onto the 163 south, which also typically has a decent amount of traffic, not necessarily as busy as the 805, but getting on the 163 south, headed toward the downtown area. He's going to first pass the Linda Vista area and then eventually hit the Fashion Valley, Mission Valley area as we sort of lose him a little bit through those trees as Skyfox then comes above. And man, look at how fast he's going there on the 163 in the far right lane, that red car. We believe he's got a blown left back tire, but given how fast he's going, Andrew, I'm not really a car expert, so I could be wrong about this, but I'm surprised if he truly does have a blown tire, he's able to go this fast for this long.
Something was kicking up. It may not have been from a blown tire, though it may have looked like that.
Just dust or something.
Sure. And looking at traffic, by the way, it is extremely slow all the way through Balboa Park on the 163. I mean, there's a ton of traffic. This guy's going to be in for a while.
Hold on. It looks like he's reversing.
My goodness.
Oh, my goodness. He is reversing, correct?
Again, this is on the 163 south, and this guy is reversing northward.
Right.
So you're coming onto that exit, and you have no idea that this guy's coming the wrong way. This is a really scary situation.
I do want to warn our viewers, too, this is all live video. We are watching it as you are watching it. Our hearts are pounding just like yours are, and we are holding our breath as this guy, he's going 40 miles an hour probably down this off-ramp. I think this is the Genesee off-ramp.
Super
off
lucky
of the 163.
That nobody got
Take a look at the biker in the bottom right corner. You can't really see him, but okay, so now he realized he missed his exit there. I'm pretty sure that's Genesee off of the 163, and now he is headed on the Genesee exit.
So going westbound, maybe?
Right. Feel free if someone wants to correct me if I'm wrong here, but I'm pretty sure that that's where he's going, and going right through that exit, not even slowing down.
Eastbound Mesa College is what we're told.
Okay.
Have you ever seen that where somebody on a freeway dead stops, reverses down a curving ramp, and then gets onto another road?
Fast.
Really fast, with a curve, no less. Now he's getting back.
Is he going to get back on the one?
Okay, it's the 805 south. So he's going from the 163 backwards up that ramp, and then it's finding his way back onto the 805 south. No, not the same ramp.
Wow. Traffic still at a very, very slow speed there on the 805, which is typical of this time of day. This guy, we are told, is a parolee, assuming that plays into some factor of why he's running from police, which he has been for the last half an hour, and has had total disregard for other drivers on the road. As you see here, he is picking up speed, going faster in the shoulder far right lane of the 805 south, correct? Correct. The 805 south, as he now approaches, he's going to start approaching the 8 freeway, east and west, is going to be coming up here shortly, within probably a mile. If he stays in the right lane, he will pick up 8 west.
And the time of day that this is happening, he's going west. He started to go east, and then he pump faked almost and went west.
This is a single lane road here, by the way. That is a very dangerous curve to get now onto the 8 westbound. He is right above the Mission Valley area. What's that? Dave and Buster's. That's what it is, right above that. So he's just passing that, and here he is approaching now the 8 westbound near the Mission Valley area as this red sedan continues to take police. And notice, I haven't seen any CHP officers behind him for a mile. I mean, they are way pulled back, and at this point, they are strictly chasing him from their eyes in the sky, from the sheriff's helicopter, as well as from the PD helicopter, and for good reason, because this guy is on a mission for sure.
Yeah, this is a terrible time of the day to try to pull a stunt like this, but on the 8 west where this guy is right now, there's little traffic. He's coming up to a situation where he can either go north or south on the 5, or could stay straight and go to the beach communities. You'd imagine, given what we've seen, he'll probably get on a freeway. Yeah, so less traffic for this person to deal with, but this is more of what we've seen earlier, where he drives right in and out of traffic and goes wherever he wants without regard for what is written or drawn on the road when it comes to lines and it comes to safety procedures.
I mean, he's got to be going 80 miles an hour at this point, right? Look, he's almost getting off there at whatever that exit was. I'm not quite sure, Morena maybe? And now he's continuing to weave in and out, picking up speed, not slowing down. Now he's getting on the 5, potentially. Where are we right now?
Or he's going to Sports Arena. Is that area?
No, that's the 163.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure that's the 163. Yep,
right,
it's 163 southbound. You've been watching this live police chase for the last half an hour with myself and Andrew. We want to hand it off now to the Fox 5 News at 6 with Kathleen Bade and Phil Blauer.
Once again, you're following breaking news in progress here on the Fox 5 News at 6. This is apparently a suspect, a parolee, that has taken police on a high-speed chase since about 5:30. It started in La Jolla when this individual was going on the 5 off of Gilman, and then it's traversed across several freeways and in pretty much every direction the compass will take you. He has gone through, and we believe it is a male suspect because he did get out of the car at one point in Del Mar. It's taken the police choppers and those in pursuit overhead through Del Mar Village on the 5 southbound to the 805 south to the 163 south, where the suspect then drove in reverse down an off-ramp to get back on the 805, the 8 west, and now we're on the 163 south. And that is a long and dangerous list of freeways where this person has been driving rather erratically, just passing between those 2 cars and just nearly scraping both sides of them as he continues to make his way off another off-ramp here. And driving on the shoulder has become customary of this suspect as well. We believe there is only one individual inside the car. We have not been told otherwise. This is the area of the 163 South where the suspect may be under the overpass passing Washington. Now, if you know this area, there's Kensington, there's all kinds of tight-knit communities there, and traffic can really come to a stop. This is the Hillcrest area in particular, and as you know, very narrow roads, very congested, particularly this time of night. So now we're seeing this individual stopped. Now you might be asking yourself, where is the police presence? Well, just like Sky Fox, they were following overhead, and they've been told basically to stand down because of not only the time of day, but the erratic nature of this particular suspect, and that is in the name of public safety. It looks like he is using the shoulders once again to continue this pursuit, going south on the 163, and we all know where that's headed. That's downtown towards the Balboa Park area. And again, you're going to run into a lot of congestion in those areas. I'm going to bring in my partner here, Phil Blauer, as we continue to follow this high-speed chase that has gone on for at least 30 minutes so far.
Absolutely, and as we saw during Jen and Andrew's coverage, this guy just is doing all sorts of maneuvering here. We saw him go backwards at one point down an on-ramp. Luckily, so far, one person has been sideswiped. We haven't seen anybody seriously hurt by this, but this car, Kathleen, has reached speeds of up to 90 miles per hour. This is now being followed strictly by air, we understand, by the CHP and perhaps even by San Diego police as he continues to maneuver through these tight spots, again, through the downtown area, past Balboa Park there on your left-hand side. We're going to have to see how he emerges. Most of the traffic at this time of day is coming out of downtown, but there is still some concern. And there you see the signs there. Could go southbound on 163, where it still appears he's going, or he could turn to the right and go northbound on the 5. We'll just have to wait and see. Earlier in Del Mar, we saw him blow through several stop signs. We've seen him again drive on shoulders. In fact, the sidewalk at one point, he stopped at an office complex in Del Mar, got out for a second, got back in.
There, Phil.
Got back in, and that's the Laurel Street Bridge right there. Now here he comes. He's decided to stay on the southbound lane of the 163, now going through downtown. Now this ends into 10th Street. So we'll have to see what happens. He could be on surface streets here in just a couple of moments. Again, this is going to be very, very crowded for him as this narrows down. Going to be passing over here by City College in just a couple of minutes, so we'll keep our eye on him.
And again, you're watching the Fox 5 News at 6 as we continue to follow this breaking news. This is a parolee that gave chase for some reason. We don't really know. Of course, we thought there maybe at that juncture he might get back on the southbound 5 and head to Mexico, as many people try to attempt, which you're only going to run into Customs and Border Patrol agents, so that's really not a realistic option for this person. But now kind of hidden behind the buildings here in downtown San Diego, this suspect with CHP overhead trying to keep eyes on him may find cover in some of these high-rise buildings. We don't know just how many police units are on standby in different areas of the city. So you can imagine that they're keeping an eye on that person who is wanted for this erratic driving in excess of speeds of 100 miles an hour. We guesstimate, but it certainly seems that way. You can see Sky Fox is trying to pick up the trail of this parolee, get back on, I believe, the 805 South at that point. But in any case, he's now downtown and we believe surrounded in a parking garage on 9th Avenue.
And once again, if you're just joining us, this started at about 5:30 tonight. Kathleen's done a great job of recapping. We still have not been told by authorities exactly what this person is wanted for, other than just that he's a parolee. This is still one of the most fascinating parts of this whole pursuit, is when he pulls in this upper parking garage here of this office complex in Del Mar and begins shifting stuff around in his car, taking about 30-40 seconds there. And then you'll see him get back in reverse and sort of casually tap this other car that's on top of that garage and then move on. At one point also, we thought that one of his tires on the left-hand side of his vehicle, which is described to us as a Honda Accord, had been flattened perhaps by some of the debris that he'd been driving on his shoulder. But if that's true, it didn't seem to affect him, still maintaining some fairly high speeds throughout this pursuit, and also weaving his way into the downtown area where we still believe he is at this hour.
We're learning new details today about the guy who police say led them on a high-speed chase throughout San Diego last evening. You watched it play out live on the Fox 5 News at 5 and 6. We learned that before this, Aaron Howley had 9 felony cases filed against him, mostly drug charges. Well, last night we watched as he drove his car recklessly through La Jolla to Del Mar, back to Kearny Mesa and downtown. At one point, he drove in reverse on the 163 up a ramp before then switching freeways. Witnesses last saw him at an underground parking garage near the East Village.
I just saw him go very fast into the garage, and then he almost hit someone in there, my customer, and then my customer said something to him because he got literally within inches of hitting him at a very fast pace, and he just said, "Oh, I'm sorry, I'm really sorry," and then that was it.
Police searched through nearby apartments into the night, but they have yet to find him. Officers say that they believe he changed clothes before getting away.
We are following breaking news right now in the city of Miami. This is a chase that we have been monitoring here from our assignment desk for the last half hour. It is happening in the city of Miami. Let me get you the last address that I have, Northwest 14th Avenue and 32nd Street. The information we have is that Miami police have been following that car with suspects inside, and somehow those suspects are involved in a homicide case. Again, this is a chase in the city of Miami. The signal from Chopper 4 went out there for a moment, but we got it back. The chase is in the city of Miami, Northwest 32nd Street and 14th Avenue. You can see the Miami police car right behind.
This is a 7 News special report.
Good afternoon. This is Alex DePrato live in the 7 Newsplex 7 Skyforce over a police chase that's underway right now in the city of Miami. Police are pursuing this red Mercury. As you can see, plenty of police officers behind this vehicle right now in the city of Miami. At last check, we got a report that this was 34th and 14th Avenue there in the city of Miami. We are going to keep 7 Skyforce there over this scene. As you can see, this is going at a very high rate of speed on the streets of Miami. It's unclear exactly why they are pursuing this vehicle. The 7 News desk has several calls into both police in Miami and also the Miami-Dade Police Department to figure out why they're pursuing this vehicle, but no doubt a very tense situation on the streets of Miami at this hour as there is this police pursuit that is underway. This is going north at this hour at 62nd Street and 14th Avenue there in the city of Miami. Residential streets, a very tense situation there as police pursue this vehicle. You can see it's the red vehicle. 7 Skyforce is trained here on this vehicle, and the driver is not stopping, going through red lights into oncoming traffic, it appears at this time. A very dangerous situation. Another update on the area he's at. This is 72nd Street and 17th Avenue in the city of Miami. As you can see, he's going through appears to be possible a driver, man or woman, going through the intersection there, passing a county bus, a cruiser there hot on his trail, now making a left. Again, this is in the area of 72nd Street and 17th Avenue there in the city of Miami. Going on to residential streets now as this pursuit continues. Again, we don't know why the pursuit is underway, why police are following this driver, male or female. We don't know at this hour, but they are hot on the trail of this person. The 7 News desk has several calls out to try to figure this one out, but again, this is a red Mercury that police are pursuing in the area of 81st Street now and 18th Avenue. The driver does not stop, and as you can see, there is a cruiser close on his tail, now turning right. That's a City of Miami police officer right behind him, making a right here. This again is in the area of 81st Terrace and 18th Avenue. 7 Skyforce will continue to be on this scene as this man weaves through traffic in the City of Miami trying to elude police. As you can see, another officer just came in there trying to stop him, but he is speeding up, it appears. This again is now at 22nd Avenue northbound in the area of the City of Miami. High rates of speed on these residential and side streets as this man or woman, the driver, passes all vehicles near him. 7 Skyforce is going to continue to train on these on this picture, and as we monitor and what he does next. Again, this is 22nd Avenue and Bird Road, now at 92nd Street and 22nd Avenue in northwest Miami-Dade. Now moving from the City of Miami to northwest Miami-Dade. As you can see, at least 3 units are behind this vehicle at this hour, trying to get him to stop. Hasn't, and this is high rates of speed. There's a school bus on the other side of the road there as this driver, man or woman, blows through red lights, stop signs at a high rate of speed. Again, both the City of Miami and it appears now northwest Miami-Dade police are pursuing this vehicle. Doesn't appear to stop there as he makes a right-hand turn as this chase continues across South Florida. Again, the latest information we have now is 103rd Street going eastbound at 103rd Street in northwest Miami-Dade. So he appears to go eastbound, possibly towards I-95 at this time, but still on these side streets, and 103rd Street is the area he's at right now. High rates of speed, lots of traffic, and we'll see what he does here. Goes through this intersection, doesn't stop, makes a left there, and we'll get an update on what street he's on now. But this continues here on the streets of South Florida at this hour. A high-speed chase across South Florida, northwest Miami-Dade. The latest information, he's at 17th Avenue and 103rd Street now. So this pursuit continues. At least 3 units behind him, both Miami-Dade police as well as the City of Miami, blowing through that intersection right there. Again, this is a red Mercury. We don't know why police are chasing the vehicle at this time. We have those calls in to the 7 News Desk. They're trying to figure that out. Again, the latest information, 17th Avenue and 103rd Street. The front right tire is low on the suspect car. That's the information that the 7 News Desk has just received. Now making a right, blowing through intersections and not stopping. As you can see here, he goes through a highway. He's going through on a high rate of speed. Now he's on 119th Street going eastbound. Eastbound 119th Street in the center lane there. Police hot on his trail. At times when we've done these stories before, police, and going onto the sidewalk there, a police officer then trying to stop in front of him, the driver then getting back into the lanes of traffic, now going through another intersection there. This is 119th Street going eastbound at this hour. Now he's going into a turn lane. It appears he's going to turn, didn't make a U-turn there. Trying to make a U-turn, now going into a parking lot. This seems to be a dead end, and the driver there just crashed there into a wall, it appears. Police officers now out with their guns surrounding this vehicle. The driver is coming out with his hands up. You can see his hands up there. Police have a dog hot there on his trail. They are ordering him to get out of the vehicle. He appears to have gotten back into the vehicle. Now an officer is there, looked to be trapped. Now he's gotten back into the vehicle. He has gotten back into the vehicle. The dogs are now in the vehicle trying to get this man to stop. An officer there was in, it appeared to be danger as this man backed out trying to get away. This is a very, very tense situation. Again, we remind all our viewers, this is live television at this hour. Anything can unfold. This is live pictures. Again, this man appeared to stop. Now he appears to be getting out of the vehicle. We do not know how he is now out of the vehicle. Police, as you can see, have surrounded him. They are attempting to put him into custody at this hour. Again, they had a dog there in the vehicle at one point, and that is when the driver appeared to get back in the vehicle and reverse. We don't know if he was injured or shot in any of this, but this man is now in custody. It was definitely a tense situation there. This has ended in the area of Northwest Miami-Dade. And the suspect, as you saw there in the live pictures, was backing up and appeared to put officers there in danger. As you can see, there appeared to be at least a dozen officers around this man as this chase comes to an end. Again, live pictures from Northwest Miami-Dade. We still don't know why police were pursuing this man, but as you can see, they appear to be taking him off now. He's behind the tree there. Again, this started in the area of downtown Miami, has wound its way throughout the South Florida streets. It ended at 119th Street and 11th Avenue in North Miami. As you can see, this man now being put in a police car there. Again, this came to an end a short time ago when he crashed into a wall, then got back into the vehicle, and officers then put a dog there into the vehicle, and they were able to get him into custody. Again, this transpired throughout the streets of South Florida. It has ended at 119th Street and 11th Avenue in North Miami. And you watched it all unfold here on 7 News, and you can see just how many officers are here in this area. You can see plenty of the police officers from several agencies from both the city of Miami and Miami-Dade. Again, it was this red Mercury that police were pursuing from the city of downtown Miami. It ended in North Miami. Again, a short time ago, the man is being either taken to jail at this hour or whether he needs to be checked out after being injured by that dog to the police department there. Again, we don't have a reference why police were pursuing the vehicle, but no doubt a tense situation throughout South Florida here in Southwest Miami-Dade. We're going to keep 7 Skyforce there as this situation continues to unfold. Again, this is 119th Street and 11th Avenue in North Miami. We may have some video to show you as this chase ended. If we can cue that up, we'll. Okay, here's the end of the chase. Again, this happened a few minutes ago. This man hits a barricade there. He gets out of the vehicle. You'll be able to see him with his hands there on his in the air, and that is when he gets back in the vehicle. He'll get back in the vehicle as police surround this red Mercury with dogs as well. And here's the incident that put an officer in danger. As the driver backs out, the officer there and the dog have to get out of the way quickly. And there you'll see the dog jump there into the Mercury, and that is when the suspect is taken into custody a short time ago. Again, this ended at 119th Street and 11th Avenue in North Miami. The suspect now is either being taken to the hospital or to jail at this hour. So again, a wild pursuit throughout the streets of South Florida. Plenty of police, both from the city of Miami and Miami-Dade, there on the scene. Following this red Mercury across South Florida, it went from the city of Miami, Northwest Miami-Dade, and then ended here in North Miami a short time ago. Again, 119th Street and 11th Avenue in North Miami. The suspect We are trying to figure out where he is being taken at this time or why police were pursuing him. But the red vehicle there is the one that police were pursuing throughout the streets here in throughout the South Florida streets. You just saw the Miami-Dade police chopper there that was on the scene. And this is from a short time ago. As police were pursuing this vehicle, high rates of speed at time. This man was going through intersections, going at a high rate of speed throughout intersections across South Florida. Police from both Miami and Miami-Dade were hot on his trail. And of course, we have several 7 News reporters going to the end of this situation at 119th Street and 11th Avenue, where this ended. Of course, we will have a full report coming up on 7 News first at 4 throughout the day here. So you'll want to stay with us as we continue, and we're going to send you back to regular programming now. Stay with us for the latest here on 7.
And the wild chase came to an even wilder end just outside a packed restaurant. The TV's Alex DePrado is live at that scene in Northwest Miami-Dade. Alex?
Well, Craig, tonight it is a club. As you can see, the lights are on. By day, this place is a restaurant. This man came around this corner right here and then went into this alley in an effort to avoid police. He smashed right there into that dumpster. He was wanted for stabbing his girlfriend. The high-speed chase doesn't end until the man makes a wrong turn and slams into a dumpster. Cops, their guns drawn, surround the red Nissan Altima. The man gets out of the car with his hands up, but when an officer with a canine approaches, he gets back in and puts the car in reverse. An officer on the passenger side with another canine has to move quickly to avoid being sandwiched between the car and the parked Jeep. As the driver backs up, he slams into a Miami-Dade police squad car. Officers then send a canine into the car. A second canine moves in, but latches on and bites the leg of the other police dog.
I just hear the crash.
The chase and takedown happened next to Conaquito Restaurant at Northwest 11th Avenue and 119th Street. Patricia Martinez and her 6-month-old daughter.
West 10th Street, a double shooting occurred there in front of a residence, and the vehicle that fled fits this description. The police officers are following now. They've been trying to get the vehicle to stop here on I-95. It is in the HOV lanes. Let me brighten the camera up there a little bit for you as it continues southbound here. That's the extent of the information that we have, is that they are trying to get the vehicle to stop. The Broward Sheriff's Office asked for assistance from the county and from other agencies down here in Miami as the vehicle fled out of their jurisdiction. You can see right now we have a Miami-Dade cruiser there along with a uniformed police officer on his motorcycle and the red vehicle in question. Now there's another vehicle there, that Challenger or Charger right there that's adjacent to the vehicle, trying to get that vehicle to slow down. It does fit the description of the vehicle that they were looking for. There were supposed to be 2 occupants in that vehicle, and now they're paralleling that vehicle. And if you give me 1 second here just to regroup a little bit and get my scanner back up a little bit higher, I can find out exactly. But they are going to follow this vehicle. They are trying to get the vehicle to stop. It is now pulling over. And it's doing the lane change here. Now we have 1 vehicle in front of it and several vehicles behind it. They are trying to get it to stop here. We are at about 62nd Street, a little south of 62nd. I'm looking out my window here. Actually make it about 46th Street, stopping in the middle. We got a bailout. 1 person there being pursued now by the police. They're taking off after him. The other person has stayed in the vehicle. We've got police officers chasing. He jumped over the guardrail here and flipped down off the embankment here. We've got some other officers. It looks like he's been tased or he's hurt himself jumping off that over that ledge right there. Joe, can we slide back just a touch? And we have 1 guy, and he's incapacitated here on the ground just outside of the I-95 expressway. Approximately, we're going to revise our address here. We're going to put it closer to 25th Street or 26th Street and I-95. You see the 2 Miami-Dade police officers there trying to clear the hurdle of the fence. We're going to put our extender in here and zoom in a little bit more. You can see the guy laying on his side right there. It appears to be as we said, incapacitated, unknown whether he injured himself jumping over or whether he was tased by the police as they went over. We lost our location there for a second as he's got his hands raised. He's complying with police orders to give himself up. We're going to stay with this shot for a second just to tell you that traffic is ground to a halt on I-95 southbound. This all happening in about the last 10 minutes out of Hallandale. As we said, there was a shooting, a double shooting occurred at that location. The location I gave you, 996, I'm sorry, Northwest 10th Street in Hallandale. And the vehicle fled the area. The shooters believed to be in that car. They got a description of the vehicle. They boloed it out, which is a be on the lookout for that vehicle. It was spotted on I-95. Broward Sheriff's Office was following, asked for assistance from the county. You saw the takedown live here on WSCN, and that's pretty much what we have for you right now.
All right, Ralph, just to recap then what we've seen in the last couple of minutes, because it has been a lot in a very short amount of time. You say that this started as a double shooting in Hallandale on 996 Northwest 10th Street. Then this police pursuit ensued on I-95. Now, in that vehicle, were there two people or just the one that we saw bail out?
Well, we have another one in handcuffs right here, so we're going to go with two for now. Those are we saw the one person bail out there where they look like now they're going to be processing him and getting him in the back of a police car. You can see the roadway here closed. Actually, we've got a third suspect here. I was going to call them suspects or subjects as they are taken into custody by police. So you've got one being put in the back of car number 19434, and you've got one leaning over the back of car 17268, and then the third person is over here in the tall grass where these other vehicles stopped. Right here, they're standing over the guy right now. We understand that fire rescue has been called to the scene here to render aid in this because there may be an injury to one of these people that fled from the police when that vehicle stopped right in the middle of I-95.
Yeah, and just thinking about how it all ended right there when that vehicle stopped in the middle of 95 with traffic still going. No other vehicles were involved in any type of accident or anything as this came to an end?
Well, you know, we kind of trained the camera off of that activity to follow the person running. But right now, let me just bring the camera back out here and show you. You can see there's traffic that is stopped here. It backs up from about 25th Street here just to before the 112 expressway on the south side of it. So there is traffic there. There are a lot of onlookers now, and police are trying to process this as quickly as possible. Of course, this becomes I guess a part of a crime scene here as they took several subjects in custody right here when they took them out of this red vehicle, including the one that ran over the embankment there, jumped over the embankment and ended up laying on his back here, the guy in the white and the blue. There are two officers now with him in custody. And back to you guys.
And Ralph, we see that there are 3 suspects there in police custody. The other 2, did they stay in the car? They apparently did not try to run?
Well, again, we were following the other activity, so that when the cameras, wherever the camera's trained is where we're looking. We saw the one person jump out. When we swung the camera back over, both of them were in handcuffs, appeared to be complying with police, so they may have decided it was not a good idea to flee there in the middle of I-95 during regular traffic hours there. So they were taken into custody and being processed as we swung the camera back over there.
Ralph, okay, as you stay with us, it has certainly been a busy day in the 7 Newsplex and a busy day for you. It started with that traffic nightmare that we covered earlier today, and now this on I-95. Just to recap, for those of you who might be joining us at this hour, a double shooting on Hallandale Beach at 996 Northwest 10th Street. Then police issue a be on the lookout for an ending to all this on 95 southbound at 26th Street, roughly. And there you see that suspect now in police custody as well. In all, we're talking about 3 people in police custody at this hour. Their role in all of this, the bigger picture, that's still unclear. But we can certainly tell you what a mess.
At this point, really just picking up information, trying to get details to be able to report them to you.
All right, Brandon, we appreciate that. Keep gathering details for us on that end. And in the meantime, you're looking at live pictures on your screen. 7 News at noon on the scene of a developing story. Several people in custody at this hour after what started as a shooting ends with a chase, then a bailout. Now 3 people in custody as we continue to sort through the details of all this. 7's Ralph Rayburn was there when it started and is here now to fill us in on more. Ralph?
Well, let's just backtrack and tell you that on our way to the tanker accident, which was going to be our noon live shot, we heard a call and we shared that information with our Broward desk. Our desk heard the same information, but and then diverted us to head toward I-95, and we did. We could hear the chase coming southbound on the radio through the Golden Glades interchange, and then as it approached 103rd Street, they temporarily lost sight of that red vehicle that we showed you a little bit earlier. Then Broward Sheriff's Office got on the radio and said that they were behind the vehicle and that it was refusing to stop. They requested assistance from an aviation unit from the county. I don't know whether that unit ever launched or not, but we were out there. We saw the vehicle, the red vehicle as it was described, coming southbound in the HOV lanes at a pretty good clip, a pretty high rate of speed there, not complying with the officer who had the motorman who had his lights and siren on and trying to get the vehicle to pull over. It passed 79th Street and went through, by the 112 in traffic, and then several other Miami-Dade cruisers pulled up, one alongside of it, and then that one was able to get in front of it and force it out of the HOV lanes. It appeared for a moment that they were going to stop, but just pull off the side of the road and stop, but it stopped right in the middle of I-95, and the passenger side front door opened, and one of the people inside that vehicle bolted into traffic and was nearly clipped by a vehicle that was passing on the right-hand side there. The police occupants of the vehicles that were pursuing got out of their vehicles and ran after that one suspect, as the other people that appeared to remain in the vehicle, including the driver, they were taken into custody. We saw them in handcuffs. In the meantime, the person that jumped out of the passenger side front seat jumped over the guardrail and over the fence there on the retaining wall and tumbled down, and we could not tell whether because of the trees and the ground covering, we couldn't tell whether or not he was injured from the fall or if he just gave himself up. But he is in police custody now, is being walked by police to a waiting police car here off the side of the roadway, off of I-95 at approximately 23rd or 24th Street on the west side of I-95. As we bring the camera back out here, they've been watching them process. Here on I-95, you can see traffic merging to the HOV lanes, or to the center lanes there. We've got 4 lanes of traffic that are blocked there. The red car remains in the middle of the road, and they're going to be processing. That's our story here at Skyforce HD. I'm Ralph Rabin reporting live.
Right, we are following a developing story, breaking news right now. A car chase happening in northwest Miami-Dade. A helicopter following this white Chrysler, 2016 Chrysler. We're hearing it might be a stolen rental car. At this point, this car is now approaching Northwest 2nd Avenue, was traveling from Northwest 131st Street.
We're hearing some word that perhaps the person inside of this car has a gun, but again, these are sort of unconfirmed reports. Very close call right there as they made that turn. They were on 95. They were also on the turnpike, this person in this car earlier, and now we're just getting our chopper up there and following them as they very high-speed chase here through parts of North Miami-Dade County.
Yeah, we're hearing the chase started roughly 10 minutes ago, and you can just see how erratic that driver is going. Just went straight through. It looks like those barriers, and it looks like as well some barricades that were up. Is this near Sun Life Stadium?
It is. They are saying it is the parking lot there of the Dolphin Stadium right now as he's pulling out now into traffic, he or she, but we understand it was a male behind the wheel of this car. It is a rental car, we are told. Perhaps this person had a gun earlier in the day, perhaps threatened somebody. These are still information just coming into our newsroom. Sort of stuck in traffic right now.
And this area is really congested. This is now the city of Miami Gardens, and it looks like he is driving into what appears to be just a parking lot, some kind of shopping district, and just swerving in and out of traffic. You know, Kristen, whenever we covered these chases, they're a little crazy, obviously, especially during the lunch hour period where there can be a lot of heavy traffic. And the concern here is that this driver seems to not care as it's swerving in and out of traffic at a high rate of speed. Clearly, residential area where those speeds are should be at about 30 miles per hour, zooming by much faster.
Yeah, it's very hard for us, as you can imagine, to tell exactly what roads we're talking about, but we do know this is in the area of Dolphin Stadium, and this person was in the parking lot of Dolphin Stadium for a short time. Miami Gardens is the city we're talking about, now on a road that is pretty free of cars, which is certainly a good thing since this person is in a neighborhood driving erratically. Of course, it's summertime, and kids are not going to be in school. They're going to be out and about, and so this is definitely a very frightening situation.
Welcome back. We are following some breaking news right now for you near the Miami Gardens area. These are live pictures from our Chopper 4 over a police chase. Right now you are seeing this 2016 white Chrysler rental car that police are chasing throughout the Miami Gardens area. This is near the football stadium there. We have seen this car make some quite interesting maneuvers at this point, possibly putting other drivers in danger. As you can see, though, that driver moving through a residential area at this point. No police too close behind the driver or that vehicle at this time, but of course they are watching from overhead with the police chopper as well as with news choppers. Right now we're hearing that the car just passed 32nd Avenue. You're seeing it make some erratic turns there in the area as it tries to find the next spot to perhaps make a little bit more, take a little more ground in this chase away from police.
And we actually saw him crash through a fence near the stadium. He's gone through numerous streets. We were told about 15 minutes ago that he was headed on I-95 originally near 79th. He got off at 125th, turned around, got back on I-95, headed north, took the turnpike. From the turnpike, he continued to make his way towards the stadium, and then we are looking at him now in the Miami Gardens area.
At this point, what we're hearing as far as how this chase started, we're hoping to get some more details from law enforcement at this point. What we're hearing that this person possibly made some threats on a bus, armed threats on a transit bus somewhere in Miami-Dade County. Again, the vehicle we are following is a 2016 white Chrysler vehicle that we understand is a rental car. Not exactly sure how this person obtained this rental car, whether it was taken from the rental facility or from someone else who had rented that car. Of course, we're hoping to get that information to you as quickly as possible. But again, this is in the Miami Gardens area near the stadium. At last check, this was near 32nd Avenue and 207th Street. You could see the car losing control in some spots as it tries to make some very quick turns, driving over some grass of some nearby lawns. If you know anyone who lives in this area at this time or who frequents this area, it is around lunchtime on this Monday afternoon. Be sure to tell them, get them on the phone, let them know what's going on in the area so they could potentially steer clear, stay off the roads until police have the situation under control.
And we've been watching this during the commercial break right before we came out to you at home, and we saw this car crash through a fence that was blocked off. After that, went through what appeared to be a strip mall of a gas station of some sort with a lot of cars in there, and as it was pulling out, nearly crashed into two other vehicles. This is the area again. 37th Avenue is the last location we were given. 37th Avenue and 207th Street.
And as you can tell from this video, there are many houses in this area. Seems like a residential area. We're hearing that he's coming up, or the driver's coming up on a dead end. That doesn't seem to stop the person behind the wheel at this point, driving on the grass. Now looking like driving over a sidewalk, trying to evade authorities. But even with the wider shots we've been able to show you, we don't see any police on the tail of that vehicle at this point. Of course, law enforcement does have air support. There is an officer right there. Looks like that officer is going to try to turn around to continue to pursue this person. You could see Miami-Dade Police air support, I believe, the chopper there, keeping a close eye on this vehicle in order to give law enforcement on the ground a better idea of where this person is and where they are going, although it seems very hard to predict this person's movements as they're driving very erratically throughout these very residential streets. Now, it seems to be on a larger stretch of roadway here. Eastbound on 213th is what we are being told at this point. But again, so many twists and turns in just the short chase so far that it's been hard to keep track of exactly where this person and this car is. At one point on I-95 by 79th Street, traveling northbound, then hopped on the turnpike, now on the side streets, on those surface streets there in the Miami Gardens area.
And if you're just joining us, we are watching a high-speed chase involving a 2016 white Chrysler. We're told that this is a rental car and that the drivers, the person in the car, made some threats with a gun to a transit bus. So again, we've been following this for over the last 15 minutes or so. This starting off on I-95, heading northbound near the 79th Street. The vehicle exiting off of 125th and then making its way back onto I-95 to the turnpike and then into the Miami Gardens area.
Now that the driver appears to be on a longer stretch of road there, uninterrupted by other vehicles except for that van there you see, was able to travel just a bit faster, slowing down a bit to make that turn at this point. But of course, police
using quite a bit of caution, keeping their distance from what we can see based on our Chopper 4 imagery here over Miami Gardens as this car speeds through some of these one-way, or rather one lane in each direction streets throughout this area. You see several homes. They've also driven through some businesses at one point earlier in this chase. As Walter has mentioned, the car drove through a fence. All of this happening near the stadium where the Miami Dolphins play football. The team obviously not there today, so not much in the way of traffic in that area. Just your usual Monday morning or Monday afternoon commuters, specifically perhaps the lunch rush on 27th Avenue. Quite a bit of businesses there, so no doubt plenty of people in that area who should be on alert for what is happening right now. If you know anyone who lives or works in the area, be sure to give them a heads up in case they're not able to be by a TV right now.
And I want to point out that this is in a residential area, so this is very dangerous as this car is zooming and zipping through the area. We're not sure how many people are in this vehicle. We're not told if there's a male or a female. How many, again, are in this car? And what's really also something that you may have noticed if you've been watching, that we haven't seen police following this car except for one car as this vehicle was whipping through an area. We saw one police car, but it appears that the police are staying far away from this vehicle, and as long as the chopper is up over the air, they're going to be able to locate and follow him very closely.
And just to give you the latest on the position, according to our producers who are keeping a very close eye on this situation at our assignment desk as well, we are being told that the last known position in 32nd Avenue and 207th Street westbound, but of course so many twists and turns so far, it's hard to keep an exact positioning on exactly where this driver is, other than to say in the Miami Gardens area near several homes. You could see all those driveways that this person, the driver, very little regard for, driving up on sidewalks, on the swales, on the grass there, just basically trying to outmaneuver the authorities. And at this point, able to do so because those authorities, those police officers, nowhere in sight. It's 12:30 right now on Monday afternoon, and we do want to let our viewers who are just tuning in know that your normal programming is not on right now because we are maintaining our coverage of this breaking situation here out of Miami Gardens, where police are chasing this 2016 white Chrysler vehicle that we understand is a rental vehicle. From what we know right now, according to law enforcement, what they've been able to tell us here at CBS 4 is that the person driving this vehicle or someone in this vehicle somehow threatened someone on a bus with a gun. So we are trying to get more clarification of exactly when that happened, where that happened, whether anyone was hurt in that situation, and of course how this person went from a transit bus to being inside of this rental vehicle.
Now, the last location that we got is that he was heading east on 207th, but it looks like he might be just going around the blocks, you know, over maybe a 3 or 4 block area. We did see just recently 2 police cars heading the opposite direction as this vehicle was whipping past. We are following a high-speed chase right now. This is a 2016 white Chrysler, and we are told that this is a rental car. So police not able to track down a license plate as to who this vehicle may be belonging to because, as I said, it's a rental car.
We were able to see one cop car. It appears that there's another cop car there as well, but the driver of that Chrysler was able to outmaneuver that police vehicle once again, driving over the grass to simply get away. The street not totally blocked, so he did have a passageway of escape through that area. Again, for those of you just tuning in for our typical programming, we will maintain our coverage here from Chopper 4 of this breaking situation out of Miami Gardens, where police continue to chase this vehicle. It looks like the car is getting closer to more of a major intersection right now, going against traffic to try to get to the lane that he wants to, or he or she. We're not sure exactly who exactly is behind the wheel at this point, but now on a much more open stretch of roadway, not in specifically that residential area any longer, but of course this car has made many, many turns so far. Very hard to keep track of exactly where this person is going next. Once again, another turn there. I'm hearing it's a 207th and 37th Avenue, a bit of a curve to the road there. The vehicles in front of that car not stopping the driver, not slowing that person down in any way. Again, not able to see any law enforcement too close by. There have been some positioned at certain areas, but the car has been able to just zoom right past them.
And if you were just tuning in, we've been following this now for approximately about 15 minutes. This started near 79th. We are told this vehicle headed onto I-95. continued northbound and got off I-95 at 125th, made its way somehow back onto the same entrance at 125th to the turnpike near the stadium, crashed through a fence that was blocked off with barriers. After it slammed through that fence, it made its way through a strip mall, what appeared to be a gas station, and maneuvered its way in and around a couple of vehicles, almost crashing into both of them before making its way through this residential area that we were watching for the last 10 minutes.
If you're familiar with this area of Miami Gardens on 27th Avenue, which they are near, but I'm not sure if that's actually the street they are on right now. It's very hard to tell. Obviously, this is not 27th Avenue, this smaller street, but lots of businesses, lots of traffic around this time of the day. So be sure to alert your loved ones, your friends, anyone you know who may live or work in that area. Alert them to this situation in case they're not by a TV, so they know exactly what's going on. Probably best for them to either stay off the road at this point, because this driver driving very erratically, very little regard for the other vehicles on the road at this point. From what we have seen, it doesn't look like any cars have been clipped or hit in any way, but this driver did zoom right through a fence, so it did not stop that driver from doing that. Eastbound 211th from 34th Street is the last known position, but that car moving so very quickly, that positioning will be changing rapidly. Police even having a tough time keeping track of this vehicle because of just how quickly that car is moving, erratic turns, switching lanes. As you could see, that car just went over the double yellow line and then quickly crossed back over because of an oncoming vehicle. So a very dangerous situation for drivers out there in that area at this time.
And we were just told that this vehicle is heading toward a 27th. And what's really important to point out now is that we're in the lunch hour break. So a lot of people who are working, maybe leaving their place of business, getting on the road and running into, this activity here. So if you know of anyone who is in this area, if you are in this area, probably a good idea to stay off the roads for at least a little while.
Absolutely. And again, for our viewers just turning in, we do want to give you an idea of exactly what is going on here besides the obvious, a police chase that we are staying on top of via Chopper 4. According to law enforcement, so far what we know is that this all started as some sort of an armed threat against someone on a Miami-Dade transit bus. That is what we know so far. We're really trying to get more information for you, but at this hour, this is what we know. It appears that the car now is driving parallel to one of the larger roadways. I think that might be the turnpike. It's very hard for me to tell from this particular vantage point. We just want to let our viewers know right now that we are about to switch on to delay. And what that means for you is that you're going to see a bit of a delay in your picture here. You won't hear us or see us for about 5 seconds or so because this is a breaking situation and we do not know how it could end. We do want to switch to delay for you, so just be cognizant of that in the next few moments here on CBS 4.
Okay, and that delay is now over, and you're watching a high-speed chase. If you're just joining us, this high-speed chase taking place roughly about 30 minutes ago. We are following a 2016 white Chrysler. We are told is a rental car. We do not know how many people are in there, male, female, and we are told that they're approaching the County Line Road. And we are told that the person in this vehicle, or people in this vehicle, have made threats with a gun to a transit bus. And you can see the car not able to stay on the road because there are cars blocking the way, so it decided just to make its way onto the grass, onto the shoulder. And the car is now approaching Northwest 2nd Avenue and County Line.
And if you're not familiar again with that area, County Line Road, as it says, is the dividing line between Miami-Dade and Broward County. That car very close to just nicking another car there on the road, made a quick turn, now traveling southbound on Northwest 2nd near County Line Road. Again, for people who live in or travel through this area who might not be watching, please go ahead and call those friends and loved ones who you know who might be in that area to alert them of the situation so they can take the proper precautions and hopefully steer clear of this area. Now that car going northbound on 441 at a high rate of speed. Again, throughout the last 15 minutes or so that we have been watching this chase, we haven't actually seen any police cars close on the tail. It looks like that might be one right there. It's very hard to tell from our vantage point. It looked like there was some sort of decal on the siding, several police cars there. We are going to zoom out just a little bit. Chopper 4 having an issue keeping track of exactly where this car is. Our producers telling us that the vehicle did turn into a shopping plaza in that area. You can see a parking lot. This very heavily traveled area for people walking, pedestrians in parking lots. So hopefully this can have a safe conclusion here in this area, though it appears this will continue as the car has somehow managed to get out of that parking lot, evading authorities yet again. And that vehicle just exited the parking lot there and is headed southbound on 441. We saw it heading northbound on the opposite end of that shopping mall, and now it just continues to go. Again, Lauren had pointed out that now the vehicle is going in the opposite direction of traffic. Coming in the other direction. We haven't seen any vehicles so far. Hopefully, we will not see any cars. And there it is. It's going back into the right lane of traffic and passing 204. Looks like it's running into just a bit more traffic. Not a surprise for this time of day as people take their lunch breaks. Once again, that vehicle on the wrong side of the road, all the way to that driver's left, but really what should be the right side of the road for those oncoming drivers. You can only imagine the feeling of those people in those vehicles right now coming face to face with this oncoming car. That car now has crossed over into the right side of the road, but again, doing the wrong thing, evading police at this point. Near the Miami Gardens area, we do want to tell you this started quite a while ago, probably 20-30 minutes ago from my understanding, in Miami near I-95 and 79th Street. That's where we first caught wind of this chase. The car now slowing down just a little bit to make its way through that intersection, but not coming to a complete stop. Making a turn now up onto the sidewalk and continuing on its way. The driver, what we know so far is either the driver or someone else in the car. Unclear how many occupants are in that vehicle at this point. We do know that there is just one person in the vehicle at this time. A man, we are told, is the person who is driving right now. And according to law enforcement, what we've been able to gather thus far is that the person, the man driving this car, somehow threatened people on a Miami-Dade transit bus. Threatened with a weapon is what we are told. We're, of course, trying to get more details on that, and we'll bring it to you as soon as we know more. And we are told that this car just pulled into the 401 gas station. It appears that this is the same gas station that it raced through a little earlier. The last location that we have is northbound on Northwest 3rd. And again, this is a white Chrysler, a 2016 white Chrysler. We are told that this is a rental car, and this driver, we now have confirmed that it is a single person, a man. He made verbal threats to a woman on a Metro Transit bus. As you can see, there is an officer following behind. It's a little bit difficult to see just based on the vantage point of our chopper. I believe I just heard that the vehicle is going westbound on 187th. Law enforcement close behind, but not too close, because again, this is a very dangerous situation for law enforcement as well as the other drivers on the road right now. It appears that vehicle back into another residential area in the area of Miami Gardens. So slow going at some spots, but that car, once it gets into those wider lanes of traffic with a little bit more give, it does start to go quite a bit faster, making this chase even more difficult for police. If you're just now tuning in to CBS 4 News, this obviously not the programming you're expecting to see at this time of day. We will stay on top of this breaking situation, a police chase. That vehicle was just on Miami Gardens Drive and now just made another turn and yet another turn. It looks like going back into some sort of a shopping center, perhaps a gas station or a bank or maybe a Walgreens parking lot is what I'm hearing, driving just past the pharmacy spot there. Unfortunately, our Chopper 4 picture, we are having an issue at this point, so we weren't able to see exactly what he was doing for the last few seconds there, but now that vehicle is back on Miami Gardens Drive. And we have seen this car driving erratically. We've seen him going in the opposite direction on 441. He was headed southbound in the northbound lanes. We've seen him along driving on the shoulder, going around cars on the turnpike. We've seen him crash through a gated fence. We've seen him narrowly miss cars, weaving in between many cars on the sidewalks. Lauren, this has been incredibly dangerous. A lot of the police vehicles that we've seen, maybe about 5 or 6 total, have been keeping their distance, but the police chopper is following them very closely, as is our chopper, to bring us these pictures. Another car right now banging right there into a police car. That looks like a Miami Gardens police SUV, and now that person, the driver, has exited the vehicle, seeming to surrender himself to police. He is face down on the ground, arms extended in front of him, now putting his arms behind his back. Law enforcement staying on top of this situation. Multiple police officers right now. Our producer giving us a location. We're hearing it is 183rd and 4th in Miami Gardens. Police able to take this person into custody. Once again, if you were just tuning in, here is a recap of what just transpired in the Miami Gardens area, beginning near Miami on I-95 and 79th Street. That's where we first picked up what turned into a chase up 95, then onto the turnpike, off of the highways and onto the surface streets in Miami Gardens. This vehicle, Chrysler 2016 vehicle, a rental car. Somehow this man ended up inside that vehicle after verbally threatening a woman on a Metro Transit bus. This information coming to us from Miami-Dade Police. Thankfully, Miami-Dade Police, as well as Miami Gardens PD and all the agencies involved in this situation, were able to bring it to a safe conclusion here in Miami Gardens.
And again, the wrap up here is at 183rd and 4th in Miami Gardens.
All right.